Okay, today we are about to finish our second chapter, so which is about solid, gas and liquid. We have already learned about different status of matter. So basically there are three: solid, gas and liquid. Then we learn about the basic properties, which is like solid and liquid. So all these status, right, it has weight. We learn about that. So mass and weight. So we learn the difference between mass and weight also. And so then solid, so it has a definite shape. So the shape is basically, it's not changing in the normal circumstances unless we are given this external force. It will not change. So that has a definite shape. And liquid take the shape of the container. But we learn about the gas. Last day we discussed about this practical also. It will not even take the shape of container. So because it has something called diffusing. So it's basically spreading here and there. It's not taking any shape. So that is gas. And when you talk about the volume, so both solid and liquid has a definite volume. So you can't compress. Theoretically, you can't compress. So in the normal circumstances, right, that is very, it's kind of minor compress. So we can apply, but normally you can't compress. So, but by changing the status, maybe you can change the volume. The space it takes, you can change by maybe boiling or maybe freezing. You can change, but unless it has a definite volume, and also it has, but gas, it's not having a definite volume. The gas is not having a definite volume as it spreads everywhere in the container, and it can be compressed. So volume can be changed. It can be easily compressed. So that is the nature of air, right? Then categorize things in your kitchen as solid, liquids and gases and write them in a table. So we did similar activity. We were discovering, or we were identifying different status of different elements and different components that we can see in the environment, right? Then today we have to discuss about solid. I think we have done up to this level, right? Activity 2.5 we have done last day. If not, please tell me. As I can remember, we discussed about this one jar and then joystick and just the smoke. You can see the gas inside there, and you have to keep it upside down. So then it will be there for a small amount of time. Then you have to quickly quickly merge or quickly combine two containers, two jars, and then you can see it spreads, right? It spreads. Also the color will become lightened as it spreads. So basically here it will become like more dark, but the thing is when it spread, it will become light. That is basically result of diffusing, right? Okay, that we learn. Then we are here today. Properties of solids. So there are different properties of solids. So out of that, we learned that it has a definite shape. It has a definite shape. The shape is not changing, right? So here, actually, you are given small exercise to find out the properties of solids. So here, we have to take iron sheets, copper sheets, aluminum sheets, iron nails, chalk, rubber band, cotton wool, clay, wheat or rice flour, and some wood pieces. So a lot of things, right? Pieces of elastic, sand, powder, charcoal. You can take coconut charcoal or some charcoal from a shop. Some pieces of plastic. Other things you can find, I think, from the environment. Yes, cotton wool, yes, everything you can find from the environment other than charcoal. Charcoal can be taken by burning coconut shells. So that is another thing. So if you want, you can use that coconut shells to create charcoals. paper, cardboard, polythene, sandpapers, iron wire, copper wire, and hammer. So these are the components that you need to take in this activity. And what you need to do, touch the material with your hand. When you touch them, you will feel that some material are smooth and some materials are rough. Okay, which are smooth out of these? So just tell me which are smooth and which are rough. Yes? Can you tell me? Iron sheet, will it be smooth or rough? Copper sheets, aluminium sheets, iron nails, chalk. Yes, come on, tell me. Rubber band, will it be smooth or rough? Can you hear me? Tisandi, මාව ඇහෙනව නේද?
Yes, sir.
Smooth කියලා කියන්නේ මෘදු. Right? අල්ලනකොට නිකන් මෘදු ගතියක් තේරෙනවා. නැවෙනවා ඒ වගේ මෘදුයි. Rough කියලා කියන්නේ එයා hard, තද ගතියක් තියෙනවා. So now tell me, iron sheet, will it be smooth or rough?
Rough.
Rough. Copper sheets?
Rough.
Rough. Aluminium sheets, same, right? Rough. Iron nails, rough. Chalk? Chalk.
Rough.
It's rough. You can say it's in between, but it's rough. Rubber band?
Soft.
Yeah, it's soft, smooth. Then cotton wool?
Soft.
Soft. Then clay?
Soft.
Soft or smooth. Wheat, rice flour? What do you think? Rough or smooth? Smooth, right?
Okay,
Smooth.
sir.
Then wood pieces? Wood pieces, rough, yes. Then elastic?
Soft.
Soft, yeah. Sand?
Rough.
Rough. So then powder?
Smooth.
Soft. So if you take like filtered sand, so it will be smooth, but normally sand rough. So powder, you can say smooth. Charcoal? Charcoal කියන්නේ මේ වගේ. So after burning coconut shells, just think about that. After burning coconut shells, the dark color, so this black color remainings, we can call them charcoal. Normally ගල් අඟුරු. So what do you think? It is? It is rough, right? You have not touched. I know it's rough. So plastic?
Rough.
Rough. Then paper?
Smooth.
Smooth. Cardboard? Smooth. Polythene?
Smooth.
Smooth. Sandpapers?
Rough.
In between, right? You can say it's rough or it's smooth. So it has some rough properties and smooth properties. Iron wire?
Rough.
Rough. Copper wire? Hammer? Rough. Okay, so now, so just imagine how you feel when you touch it. So that is one thing, one way of recognizing this. Beat the material with hammer. Beat the material with the beat the material with hammer and write the materials that break into pieces and the materials that do not break into pieces separate. So what do you think? What will break? Iron sheet, copper sheet, aluminium sheet, iron nails will not break, right? But chalk, if you beat, what will happen? Chalk එකට ගැහුවොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ?
කුඩු වෙනවා.
Okay, side. You can also answer. Yes, I'm just discussing about the properties of the third thing that we have discussed about solid. We have discussed about liquid and gas. Now we are discussing about solid related to status of matter. Right. Okay. Chalk. What will happen? Will it break? chalk වලට මොකද වෙන්නේ? So when you beat with the hammer, what will happen to chalk? It will break, right? Chalk එක බෙදි කුඩු වෙනවා. So then rubber band, what do you think? If you beat with the hammer, rubber band, what will happen to the rubber band?
මොනවත් වෙන්නේ?
මොකුත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ටිකක් තදින් ගැහුවොත් නම් break වෙන්න පුළුවන්. සාමාන්‍ය මොකුත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Cotton wool, again the same, right? Nothing will happen. Clay,
තැලෙනවා.
yeah, තැලෙන්න පුළුවන්. අර මේ වේලලා තිබ්බොත් පුතේ clay එහෙනම් කැඩෙන්නත් පුළුවන් නේද? මැටි පෝච්චි වගේ තිබ්බොත්. If it is dry state, it may break. But if it is wet state, it will not break. Right? Then wheat, flour, so no change. Basically, it will straight. Wood piece, not change. Elastic, no change. Sand, powder, charcoal. Charcoal will break. Charcoal will break. Plastic, if you hit harder, it will break. Paper, cardboard, polythene, normally it won't break. Sandpapers, no. These things won't break, but it might change the shape. It might change the shape. When you beat, it might change the shape. Then third activity. Take the rubber band, elastic, wires, and papers. Rubber band, elastic, wires, and the papers. Pull each material to either side with your hand. Write the materials that stretch. Right? You have to pull it to the either side with your hand. So rubber band and elastic will stretch. So what about wires and papers? Will it stretch? Stretch කියන්නේ ඇදෙනවා. Rubber band එක ඇදෙනවා. Elastic ඇදෙයි. Then wires and papers, will it stretch?
No, sir.
No, it's not stretching, right? So now, we have idea about these features or the properties of solids. Some are stretching, some are breaking, some are changing the shape when you hit. Some are smooth, some are hard. Some will, so like wheat, rice flour, some will reorganize according to the container because it is too small and it will be reorganized, right? According to the container. And some will burn, some will not burn. So likewise, there are different properties, and so let's learn about them now. Right. Hardness. Hardness is one property. This is actually resistant to stretch. Right? Resistant to stretch. Abrasion and cutting is known as hardness. What is stretch? Stretch. Yes. Yes, please. Stretch. Stretching. So what is stretch?
ඇදෙනවා.
That is stretch. Adena kiwi stretch. Stretch and stretch, two things. Stretch means, so what do you mean by stretch is basically, so it is changing the length. When you pull, it will change the length. That is stretch. So stretch is some other property. What is stretching? Stretch. So cards, basically, you know, the what do you call these data cards, mobile phone cards, you stretch it. Stretching cards. So do you know how to stretch a card? Stretch a card. So think about this, Pute. Stretch cards. I think you know about the stretch card dialogue. Some lotteries, they have the stretching property. Have you tried this stretching? Maybe you can use a coin to stretch. Do you know what is stretching?
Yes, sir.
Right, that is stretching, right? Stretching can hold now. Right? This is stretching. This is there in lotteries. This is there in mobile phone cards. So this is there in secret, maybe some secret PIN numbers and all. You have to stretch. Right? This stretch and win. Mostly, this is there for lotteries. Right? So that is stretching. Now I think you have idea about stretching and stretching. Stretch means, what is stretch? Stretch means it can be done for elastic, rubber band, etc. Stretching. You change the length by dragging or pulling. I don't remember the singular word because like it's when you try to remember the singular similar word. So it will always, you need a translator to remember the singular word. සිංහල වචන මතක තියාගන්න try කරාම ඔයාට හැම වෙලේම translate කරන්න ඕන වෙනවා. ඒකයි මම කෙලින්ම කියන්නේ නැතුව මම examples දෙන්නේ. That is the reason why I'm giving examples rather than directly telling the singular similar word. Right? Just remember, stretching. Stretching is a property related to this rubber band. Stretching is a property related to this elastics, rubber bands. It has this stretching. Stretching. So when you can just write this in pencil in your notebook. Stretching or stretch cards. Just remember about stretch cards. Then you know what is stretching. Right? Stretching. It is resistant to stretching, right? Hardness. It is harder and it's very, very difficult to stretch. Resistant. Resistant means, so it's difficult. It's prohibiting or it's avoiding. It's very, very difficult to stretch. Think about iron, high hardness, diamond, iron, these things, it's very difficult to stretch. Very, very hard. But just think about some maybe material like wood, you can stretch. You can stretch wood, right? You can stretch wood. That is why, so you can polish and you can like, do various things with this stretching. Wood can be stretched and plastic can be stretched. You can stretch plastic. And what about even glass? You can stretch. Right? Glass stretch. Then abrasion. So what is abrasion? Abrasion. Okay, think about tires and all. Tires. Right? Okay, let me show abrated tires. Or just think about we can tell another names abrasion. Abrasion, let's say abrated, rather abrasion of tires. Abrasion, sorry, abrasion, SIOA, abrasion of tires. So that is like, you can say wear or abrasion. So that is when you use tires for a long time, you can see. So this property is called abrasion. So what is abrasion then? Yes. When you ride this for a long time or when it slips, it abrases. So what is this abrasion? Yes. At least tell me the singular meaning.
ගෙවෙනවා.
Abrasion. So here in this pute, so what we discuss here, right? You can just say, right? Stretch is stretch cards you use to stretch. Abrasion, basically tires and all. It abrade. So what is abrasion? Abrasion means given off. Right? But diamond, iron, it's really resistance to this abrasion. It will take very long time. That is why the jewelries and all made with this diamond, and so because it is really resistant to this abrasion. And cutting, that you know. Stretch, now you know. Stretch, Sirimevan, abrasion, so ගෙවියාම, and cutting. That you know, right? Cutting, you know, you can just cut. So papers, polythene, papers, cardboard, easily you can cut it. Even rubber band, elastic, you can cut it. Cloth, you can cut it. But the thing is, diamond, iron, it's very difficult. Even cutting, so you know, for cutting glass, diamond head is used. Here, diamond head cutting glass. To cut glass, a diamond head is used. Here you can see diamond head glass cutting, because diamond is that much hard and it can be used to cut, or it can be used to cut glass even. So this is, I'm not sure whether this diamond is used really here, but basically diamond is used for cutting glasses. The reason is, right, the reason is it is that much hard. Diamond is resistant to cutting, so it can long last. Okay, that is one property. Any work? No need to write. So I'll give you time to write about this. Not today. Today we'll be discussing. So because like we couldn't do last day, so if I give time to write today, so that will take more time. That will drag the lesson. So that is why I'm giving this. I'm explaining this. Don't worry, I'll be providing you the note, right, related to this, because today we have to save time as we have not done last week class. That's the reason, right? So if you really want, you can write down in pencil about these words, stretch. You can write like this. The important words that you have learned today. Stretch. S-C-R-A-T-C-H. Stretch means?
Purana.
Surana. Right? In Sinhala also you can write, but better you can write example, stretching cards. Right? When you remember like this, so it is very easy. Otherwise, if you try to remember by translating, so it's quite difficult, right? You can say stretching means this. Stretching means removing some amount of surface, or removing some surface element from the metal. Or that is what? Removing surface elements. Removing surface elements. So that is simple way of telling that, but so you can define stretching. Please write down. Or you can say mark the surface. Mark the surface with some object. So these important words you can write down. Then abstraction. Sorry, abstraction. Abstraction. Example, you can say tires. After using, it will abstract. Since you have asked, what is this? That is why I'm telling, right? Abrasion. So what is abrasion?
ගෙවෙනවා.
No, ගෙවියනවා. So you can say partial thickness reducing or worn. Partial thickness reducing or worn. Caused by usage or rubbing. Rubbing ඇතිල්ලීම නිසා වෙන්න පුළුවන්, or it can be due to usage. පාවිච්චි කිරීම නිසා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Cutting, you already know, I'm not going to explain that, but these two you can write. These are the new terms that you have learned. So those are hardness is actually resistance. That is also sometimes you need no resistance. Resistance. So what is resistance? Resistance to something. Resisting. You reject. Right? Basically, you reject. Oppose. Opposition, opposition or opposing. Opposing, like, you know, opposing means like rejecting. Opposition party in parliament, opposition party means viruddha paksha. Opposition. You don't like, you reject, you oppose. Resistance means you oppose, you avoid, you reject. You don't like, you don't want, you stop that. So that is opposition. Viruddha vena. So that is the resistance. So this hardness property of the metal will oppose for stretch, to stretching, abrasion, and also cutting. Okay, that is the number one property that we learned. Then the second property is called malleability. Malleability. So a different word. Malleability. So malleability means like ability of metal to be drawn into thin sheet without breaking by hammering or rolling is known as malleability. So basically here the meaning is given. So when a copper wire is, think about a copper wire or maybe copper sheet, even copper wire, or kind of wire given. So you used to hammer, right? You are using hammer to beat it, but it is not breaking. Instead of that, it will be drawn into a thin sheet. That is called malleability. So let me show. Have you finished writing this part? Or need more time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, finish.
Yes,
Or
sir.
need more time. So both of you. Yes. So what about Tisandi? Do you need more time to write? Tisandi, do you need more time to write?
No, sir.
All right, okay. Side, you're okay, right?
Finish.
Okay. Right. Let me rest. I'm going to rest it. Right. Malleability. When you, especially this happened to these wires and other metal materials, especially these copper wires, or even, so you know, this iron can even be used for creating knives, scissors, due to this malleability, because it's not breaking down. It's not breaking down. So here, see this iron to knife. So how you convert? So basically you take this kind of iron bars, right? You take this kind of iron bars and convert that to knife. How? It's not breaking. When you hit using the hammer, here, let's say DIY knife using iron. Right here. So this is actually a restoration project, and this is using mini knife, right? Using this, right? So these are some interesting projects. So let's see some important points. No need to watch this throughout the video. Just watch the highlighted points only. No need to watch the full video. Just learn about the malleability, right? So you can see these are all samples, old, actually iron. It's even rusty. Malakada kala tiyenne neda. Even it's rusty. Okay, what? First of all, you can see, first of all, they heat this. Why heating? The reason for this is then it is more malleable, and it is easy to change the shape, easy to make it thin. That is why heating process is there. After heating, when it become red color, this will happen after heating, right? You can see he used to heat using hammer. It's not easy. You can see after hammering a lot of time, he continuously heat it and hammering. After doing this several times, he'll be able to make it thin. You can see he'll be able to make it thin. But then he used to this is another thing, he used to stretch actually. By stretching, he's cutting the edges. Right? This is how he's converting that to a knife. The property is malleability. Now you can understand what is malleability, right? So what is that? What is malleability? It is ability to
change.
Yes, ability to make it thin without breaking. That is very important. What happens if it breaks? Then we can't do that. No, for chalk and all, we can't do that because it will break. Even for plastic, it is hard. It will break. Polythene and papers, no use, right? We are not going to do that for polythene and papers, but iron-like metals, copper, iron-like metals, it's possible to do that. Okay, so another new word learned, but the meaning is there in front of that, so I'm not going to write anything new. So malleability is ability to make it thin, or ability to be drawn into thin without breaking. So this is malleability. Okay. Then ductility. Ductility is another thing. So ductility, actually, this property of aluminium, gold, copper, like metals are used. So that is for creating wires. So that is metal to be drawn into thin wires without breaking. That is called ductility. So malleability is ability to drawn into thin sheet. Right? Remember the difference, right? This is thin sheet. So example, you can say making knife. Making knife. So how? Because the hammering process will drawn the material or the metal into thin sheet. So that is why we use here, you can see knife. The property is malleability. The other property, making wires. You can make copper wires, aluminium and gold, you can say make jewelries even. Right? Why? The property is ductility. Making wires, jewelries, chains. So why? The reason is ductility. That is, so both are same, right? Here into sheet, here into thin wires. Here we drawn into thin sheets, here into thin wires. Elastic nature. So that is, rubber and elastic. Elastic nature, it is easy to remember. Remember elastic. What is elastic? You can change the length, increase the length by dragging, by providing a force, or by pulling. Right? By pulling, you can change the length. So by pulling, you can change the length, and that property is called elastic property. Brittleness. Brittleness means ability to break. Under small force, right? This is very important, right? Not using a powerful force, but using small force, you can break. Charcoal, glass, chalk, you can break into small. That is called brittleness. So please remember this. I'll ask next day, right? Please remember the terms carefully. So what are the terms? Hardness, that is resistant to, yes, resistant to abrasion, cutting and stretching. Malleability, it is it can be drawn into thin sheet without breaking by handling or rolling. Ductility, ability to be drawn into thin wires. Elastic feature, elastic nature is ability to change the length by providing a force, or by giving a force, or by dragging, pulling, you can change the length. That is elastic. Brittleness, ability to break. Brittleness, break. So you can easily remember BB. They come B well in the enemy. Brittleness, ability to break. Glass and cord. Okay. The last. So there are more. But there are more. Not last, there are more, right? Conductivity and all. So there are some more things, conductivity and some other advanced properties. Ability to send electrons. So that ability to transfer current. So that is another thing. So, but those are not here. So you have to remember these 6 status, 6 properties basically. Texture. Feel of the surface, is it rough or smooth? You can say baby talc, cotton, that is smooth. Baby powder, right? Talc, baby talc powder or cotton, it will smooth. But sandpaper is rough. There is a surface feeling. Surface feeling. Right? Okay, so then, so we have learned 6 properties of metals, basically solids, not metals. 6 properties of properties of solids. Hardness. Yes, tell me what are the others without looking at this. Can you tell me? Hardness. Yes. Hardness.
Malleability.
Okay. 2 now.
Texture.
Texture. 3 now.
Ductility.
Ductility. 4. 2 more. texture, malleability.
Brittleness.
Yes.
Brittleness.
Brittleness. Yes. One more.
Elastic nature.
Elastic nature. Right. Okay, correct. Remember HMD-EBT, right? HMD-EBT. So these are the things. So hardness, malleability, ductility, elastic, brittleness, and texture. So those are the features. So what do you mean by what do you mean by hardness? Yes, hardness is hardness කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? What is hardness? Resistant to resistant to cutting, abrasion, or stretching, right? Resistant to cutting, abrasion, or stretching. And then malleability.
Resistant to break.
Oh no.
No, without breaking.
Yes, without breaking, it can be converted into thin sheet, right? Without breaking, it can be converted into thin sheet by providing a force using some hard material like hammer. When you beat by hammer, so if you can convert into a thin sheet without breaking, so that is malleability. So then ductility. Same thing, right? When you provide a force without breaking, if you provide a force, if you can convert that to a thin wire, that is called ductility. Elastic nature, you know, by dragging or by pulling, you can change the length easily. That is elasticness. Brittleness, ability
glass core.
Yes, glass-like thing. Ability to break, right? Brittleness means ability to break. When you provide small force, it will break. Glass, coal-like thing will break. Then one more thing, the last thing is texture. How the surface feels. Is it smooth or hard? Right, that is the surface feeling. Okay, those are the 6 features that we learn in solids. So where you apply solids? Everywhere, right? Solids are everywhere. You can see in this given picture, so roof, furniture, doors, bricks, use the wall, cement, tiles in the floor, pipes, or maybe the materials which you use for water flow. Then these bars, glasses. So all these are different types of solids used in this. So what are the other things that you can see other than this? In picture, can you name another or few more, please? You can see this in the roof, all right? Then the furniture and glass in the windows and all, wooden surfaces, bricks, cement, tiles, glass, iron pipes. So those are the things that you can see in this. Other than, so what else you can see in this picture? Can you name a few more? Yes, what are the other things that you can see here? Is that all?
Car.
Yes, car itself is not a single solid. No, car has some tires using rubber, right? Tires use rubber. And sheets use, yes, clothes or velvet, or clothes, or you can say it use sheets, leather. So you can see even, so these plants, it use cement, and also soil is there. And not only that, so if you see ceiling sheets are used, and you cannot see, but there are iron bars inside. There are a lot, right? You can't imagine. So you can just think about the materials. It has a lot of materials. That is the way that is made. Even, but this, the gold, silver, and copper. So inside that you can even see gold, silver, and copper, but here you cannot see that in the picture. If jewelries are there, right? But so these property, there are different properties of these materials. Why these are used in different parts? So glass, easy to break, but why it is used? Because of the transparent nature. Tiles, difficult to break, and it provides smooth. It has surface, the polished surface. So why wooden windows and doors? Right, there is a reason. So it is lightweight, maybe, rather, and it is, you can open and close that. Bricks, the hardness, right? So likewise, tires, the elastic nature of that when you fill, so that it has elastic. So then, so different materials are used different places due to their properties. Right here, gold, silver, copper. So those are some expensive materials. Jewelries, because their malleability and ductility. තලන්න පුළුවන්, අදින්න පුළුවන්. ඒ හින්දා තමයි යාළුවා use කරන්නේ මේ jewelries වගේම jewelries සහ ගොඩාක් ornaments පොඩි දේවල් හදන්න use කරන්නේ. This beautiful items are made up with it because it's malleability and ductility feature. It will not break. Right. So then, so we have come to the end of the lesson. Right. So there is assignment you have to do after this. Identify the application of solids. By copying the table, you have to fill this. Please do this as a homework. Right. You have to tell application. So you can just use the picture, but not just the picture. You can just write even by imagining. No need to be in the picture. You can just tell where you apply these. Here I said that for cutting glasses, diamond is used. The property, the reason for that is hardness. So likewise, please fill this. Okay, Pute. Now we have come to end of the lesson. Next day I'll be doing our new lesson with the questions. That is water as a natural resource.